Welcome everyone to Canadian Yorker here, and welcome to another Town Talk live stream. For today, we are going to be discussing a boxing match. This is not Laurent Roach versus Gervonta Davis, or um, or a WBC fight. This fight is actually between Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez. Um, and this is kind of a brand new fight that I'm covering. It's not new, of course. It's been covering for the news, but it's a first for this channel. So, in these few articles that we're gonna be going over. It's just going over what's been going on between Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez. Apparently, it's been scheduled for the fight to occur, so we're gonna go look into the details. So, this article here was written April 2025 on MSN.com, and of course you can read it for yourself. I posted all the links to this, all the links to the upcoming fight, in the comment in the description box for everyone to check out. So don't be afraid to take a look at it. So it says here, Canelo Alvarez first fires first shot at rival David Benavidez. He thinks he's Superman. So it says here, Saul Canelo Alvarez mocked his current biggest rival, David Benavidez's career achievements in a fresh twist in their ongoing rivalry. Benavidez was very frustrated at his failure to secure a fight with Canelo, which he had chased for many years. The disappointment saw the Mexican monster move up a division to light heavyweight instead. In February this year, he secured an impressive unanimous decision victory against David Morrell to retain his WBC interim um, championship and pick up the regular WBA regular light heavyweight titles. Excuse me. He was a two-time WBC super middleweight world champion, but hasn't held a world title well over 5 years now. Although he's now chasing a fight with Dimitri Bivol, it's because of this that his enemy, Canelo Alvarez, decided to mark his current status. Canelo commented, quote unquote, "I don't know how to answer this question, but the way he talks, he thinks he's Superman," close quote. And Canelo continued to say, he's very disrespectful. Excuse me, not just with me, but with everyone. He's accomplished nothing. He's not even a champion. He's not even in my weight class anymore. And there's a lot of things that doesn't make sense. And plus, at this point in my career, I can do whatever I want. You guys can't take away from from my career and my legacy for anything. If you see my resume, I fought everybody out there, all the elite fighters out there. I'm very good with my resume, Canelo concluded. Quote unquote. The four-fight weight champion from Mexico is preparing to fight IBF champion William Skull to unite all the super middleweight world titles in an undisputed clash on May 3rd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So there we have it, guys. So Canelo Alvarez um, is prepared to fight William Skull on May 3rd, and that date has already passed us. But I guess I'll do a separate live stream to find out whether or not Alvarez was successful in uniting all the super middleweight world titles. We'll have to see about that. I'll be making sure to cover that in the next live stream, but we're just focusing on Benavidez and Alvarez for now. Excuse me. So David Benavidez has responded to Canelo Alvarez's statements, and on April 8th, 2025, and Benavidez said, David Benavidez said in this article, we're going to read through it now. Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez is a fight that fans have wanted to see for a long time. The clash, however, hasn't come to fruition, with Alvarez at super middleweight and Benavidez at lightweight. The chances of the contest taking place soon are slim to none. Alvarez recently bashed Benavidez, claiming that his compatriot is disrespectful and hasn't achieved anything notable in his career yet. Benavidez is 30-0 with 24 career knockout wins, but has yet to win a belt. So David Benavidez has now responded, saying that he is the most dangerous fighter yet the least paid. He thinks Canelo Alvarez is in the wrong by wanting such a fight as much smaller fighter in Terence Crawford instead of him. Speaking to Mystic Zach, the undefeated David Benavidez said, quote, "I feel like my name isn't mentioned because I am the most dangerous fighter out there, but for the least amount of money. And now all these fighters, I feel like they see everything as a business move, which it wasn't like back then. You know how I feel about the dynamic of boxing is changing," quote unquote. And David Benavidez also said, quote, about Canelo Alvarez, "Canelo, in my opinion, the best fight that he could would be with me, because it would be the best fight in boxing. We would give the fans a lot of fireworks with that fight. But Canelo wanted to go a different route. He wanted to fight someone who was coming up from 147 pounds, a smaller guy. Not to say that it's going to be an easy fight, because Terence Crawford is a great fighter, but I feel like it would be better for the people if he would fight somebody in his own weight class." David Benavidez added that getting ignored doesn't discourage him. Rather, it gives him further motivation, proving that he is dangerous. While he acknowledges that Terence Crawford is a great fighter, the Mexican monster thinks Canelo Alvarez should have fought someone like him in his own category. So there we have it, guys. David Benavidez definitely wants Canelo Alvarez to fight him, because he should be, let's face it, Canelo Alvarez should be fighting at his level, super middleweight, but instead, super lightweight. But instead, Canelo Alvarez is fighting a fighter who is weighs less than him and is shorter than him as well. So let's get into the next article here. So interestingly, in this article from BBC.com, it's been some shocking news in April 8th, about the same day that David Benavidez commented on Alvarez's comments. Dimitri Bivol actually had to give up his title, and in this article on BBC.com, it says Bivol vacates WBC title to pursue Beta Beef trilogy. So Bivol vacates his title to go and chase his rival Beta Beef, okay, for a third time. So in this article here, it says here, Dimitri Bivol has relinquished his WBC lightweight world title after just 6 weeks as undisputed champion, in order to pursue a third fight against Arthur Beterbiev. The Russian defeated Beterbiev on February 23rd to gain revenge over his fiercest rival and claim the WABA, WBC, and WBO and IBF world titles. World WBC president Mauricio Suleiman confirmed that Bivol had vacated the title because of the 34-year-old is seeking another fight against his fellow Russian Beterbiev. The first two fights between Bivol and the 40-year-old Beterbiev had been for the undisputed title, but in the wake of Bivol's victory, the WBC had ordered him to fight its top contender, David Benavidez, next, and the purse bid was scheduled for Tuesday. Um, American fighter Benavidez, who is unbeaten in 30 bouts, has been upgraded to world champion status. Liverpool's Callum Smith will be among those vying to fight Benavidez after he beat top contender Joshua Boutsi in February. All right, so interesting. So Bivol gave up his title, and David Benavidez becomes the interim WBC champion for after Bivol leaves, and immediately. So David Benavidez doesn't have to fight Bivol for the championship. Instead, he becomes the new champion, and because he's the new champion, he has to fight the next challenger that's coming up to challenge him for the championship. So again, this fight has probably already occurred, and I can cover that in the next live stream. So, but interesting. Let's see what kind of connection does this have with what kind of connection does this have with Canelo Alvarez? Let's find out what kind of connection that is. So in this fourth article here, there's been some doubt that has been thrown, and some shades of doubt that have been thrown on this upcoming match, and many people are not really completely sure if this fight should happen. And according to SportsIllustrated.com, May 5th, 2025, the promoter says Canelo Alvarez is not capable of fighting David Benavidez. So, according to this article here, it says Canelo Alvarez earned a unanimous decision win against William Skull on May 3rd to become the undisputed super middleweight champion for the second time in his career. The judges scored the contest 115, 113, 116, 112, and 119, 109 in the Mexican's favor. However, it was not at all an entertaining fight and broke the record for the least punches thrown in a 12-round contest in the last 40 years. Fans and experts have been critical of the bout, and David Benavidez' promoter, Samson Lukowicz, has now bashed Alvarez. Lukowicz claimed that it was a shameful display, and he fell asleep watching the contest. He further added that Alvarez is not capable of fighting Benavidez. A clash between the two Mexican fighters has been rumored for a long time, but has never come to fruition. Canelo Alvarez is currently at 168 pounds, while Benavidez fights at 175 pounds. Speaking about Alvarez versus Skull, Lukowicz told pro boxing fans, quote, "When you get paid so much money, you need to take a risk. Canelo didn't want to take a risk. And the other guys, the Cuban Skull, he damaged all the Cubans because we have a problem already with the running." Lukowicz added, "Fighters to show guts like David Morrell did for standing toe-to-toe with David Benavidez," and said, quote, Lukowicz said, also, "This guy, Skull, has lost shameful, and Canelo Alvarez didn't engage in a fight. He never took a risk. It's shameful, too, for him. And because of that, now you know the reason why Benavidez was not so nice, and he talked so much stuff about Canelo and his father. But it was good because it was a good excuse for Canelo, because he can't fight Benavidez. He's not capable of fighting against Benavidez, and that is the truth." So there we have it. Interesting development from a promoter talking about Canelo Alvarez if he's able to beat David Benavidez. So we don't know if that's going to happen, but it could very well happen. Canelo Alvarez is a dangerous puncher, so maybe it could happen. Um, so kind of going to the next part here. Jaron Ennis' father predicts stoppage in Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. So Canelo Alvarez is still going ahead to fight Terence Crawford, and in this article, Jaron Ellis makes his own predictions about what's going to happen. So this article was written May 9, 2025, and it reads: Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are set to clash in a blockbuster super middleweight fight later this year. It's a showdown between two of the top pound-for-pound boxers in the world. Both fighters are four-division world champions and have held undisputed titles in their careers. They have glowing resumes, and stylistically, the fight promises to be a spectacle. Crawford, however, will jump up two weight classes to take on Alvarez at 168 pounds. Fans and experts have already begun making their picks for the contest. Some believe Crawford has the tools to dismantle Alvarez, while others think the Mexican will reign supreme. Jaron Ennis, Roy Ennis' father, has now reached his verdict. He's given his verdict. I'm a showdown, and it's surprising. So Ennis reflected on Alvarez's latest outing against William Skull. Alvarez earned a unanimous decision against Skull on May 3rd in a rather jacket-luster showdown. Ennis thinks Alvarez gets frustrated when a fighter moves too much in front of him. He told YSN Sports Media, quote, "With Canelo, he gets frustrated. If he can't touch you, you know what I mean." When asked about Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo, he said, quote, "Great chance because Terence can box, Terence can move, Terence can punch. Terence isn't going to be Skull. Terence will fight you. He's Terence from the streets, and he knows that to do. When it comes down to it, he thinks he's going to wind up frustrating Canelo." I'm just trying to finish up. Okay, there I am. And this added that the right way to fight Alvarez is to box him and hit him when he gets set. He spoke about bringing Alvarez to the center of the ring, and then said that when Alvarez gets his guard low, it's possible to knock him out. And he said, quote, "I think Terence is going to do what he's going to do. Terence might stop him." When reminded that Canelo Alvarez has a granite chin, and has said he hasn't been punched by Terence though. I know he's been in there with some great punches, but the punches got to be placed right. He added that not too many opponents have attacked Canelo Alvarez to the body, which Terence Crawford might do. That could see Alvarez drop his guard, leaving Terence Crawford with the opportunity to get a knockout up top. So there we have it. So there's a bit of a strategy that Jaron Ellis put forward for Terence Crawford to use against Canelo Alvarez, to work the body a bit, and then when Terence lowers his guard, that opens the opportunity for when Alvarez uses his guard, that gives Terence Crawford the opportunity to throw that knockout punch to Canelo Alvarez to give him the knockout. Obviously, there's a lot that can be used here. Terence Crawford can use his experience against Alvarez, but Alvarez has been in the ring with some pretty strong boxers. We'll see, can Alvarez pull it off? Can he pull off this win against Terence Crawford? But so in this way, Terence Crawford is coming up from 147 and moving up to 168 to fight Alvarez. Now, how is Terence Crawford going to actually deal with all this weight gain? Can his body handle it? And are his punches going to help him to land accurately? And are they going to have the right amount of power behind them to hit properly? So it's when boxers are gaining weight, it tends to make them a little more slower because that extra weight gain tends to help them not move as quickly as they could at their natural weight. So, we'll have to see what's going to happen with Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. And last but not least, for the last article here, it says here, and this was on May 13th, 2025. It says here, former two-division champion doubts Terence Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez. So there's been some opinions and doubts thrown about Terence Crawford facing Canelo Alvarez and Canelo Alvarez facing Terence Crawford. So there's not much that can be, there's some speculation out here saying that, well, Canelo can beat Alvarez, Alvarez can beat Canelo. But let's get into this article here. So it reads, Terence Crawford is set to take on Canelo Alvarez with the undisputed super middleweight title on the line for the showdown. Bud Crawford possesses an unblemished professional record of 41-0 with 31 knockout wins, while Canelo Alvarez is 63 and 2 losses with 39 knockouts. Both fighters are 4 division world champions and have held the undisputed title. And with a win, either fighter can catapult their standing in the greatest of all time conversation. The main talking point of the fight has been Crawford making a significant jump in salary with his last fight set at 154 pounds, but the Alvarez fight is at 168 pounds. There's been heavy debate regarding how Terence Crawford will adjust to the weight difference, and the former two division champions Danny Garcia has now chimed in on the matter. So, speaking to Fight Hype, Danny Garcia doubted Crawford's power can transition to the higher weight class. He pointed out the Israel Madjanov fight at 154 pounds, saying, quote unquote, just me assessing Crawford's last performance when he went up 154 against Madjanov. I feel like his power really didn't carry up that much to 154. So I feel like 168, that's tough. I mean, if he pulls this off and you got to put him in the top 3 all time, that means he'll unify divisions and 4 belts in 3 with different divisions, in 3 different divisions, going up all them weight classes to beat Canelo Alvarez. If he wins the fight, you probably got to put him in the top 3. Close quote. He then said, quote unquote, it's going to be a steep hill to climb. It's going to be tough. If he can do it all, praise to him. But I think it will be too much for him. That's just my personal opinion. Continuing, it says here, many have criticized Canelo Alvarez for his recent lackluster outing against William Skull, while Canelo Alvarez has won a comfortable decision. The fight lacked action, sparking rumors that the Mexican might be slowing down. Garcia, however, reckons that Skull is a bigger fighter, while Terence Crawford started competing at 135 pounds. He doubts how Crawford is going to react when Canelo Alvarez hits him with full force. And he says, quote unquote, listen, like I said before, if Crawford can pull this off, he's top 3 all time. You can't take that away from him. But I like what I said before. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be when you start getting hit with them bombs. You're like, whoa. So there we go, guys. We have some, so there's doubts being cast about whether Canelo Alvarez can beat Terence Crawford, and now there's doubt that Terence Crawford can definitely beat Canelo Alvarez, along with some of the other news that is there regarding the build up to this fight. And right now, I believe it's still not set in stone about where it's going to be taking place, and when it's taking place. Um, so we'll have to see what's going to happen in the upcoming, news when more news comes out about the situation. I don't want to give too much, information away because I'll probably leave that for the next live stream covering Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez. So will David Benavidez get his shot to fight against Canelo Alvarez? We'll have to see what's going to be happening with that, and we'll have to cover that in the next live stream. So hope you guys enjoyed this live stream, and I hope you enjoy the wonderful weather outside, and enjoy the great week as well. So there's much to look forward to. Just stay positive, everybody. Give off positive vibes. Stay positive, happy, healthy. Keep staying in good shape. You know, take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys in the next live stream, and see you all later. Yes.